That was the number one fear of having these big agencies have so much power, is that they would never want to relinquish it. They would never want to say, like, hey, look, we're patriots. I think we should follow by the rule of the Constitution and let the people decide. And like, it's like everything else, man. Once you start running shit, you don't want to stop. You know, I'm a moron, but I occasionally have these moments where I'm like, I think I know what the fuck is going on. If you really believe it, it benefits your life. Even if it's hot nonsense, even if it's a 14-year-old kid who finds golden tablets that contain the lost work of Jesus and only he can read it because he has a magic rock.
I knew I was right. I knew it. Like, it ain't no doubt about that. P. Diddy was doing all that. And like I say, I don't judge because I've been around people doing, but these hard they was doing and just, I ain't gonna lie, it was orgies and stuff going on. So all of this stuff going on, I'm like, why is people doing stuff all in the open? Like, that's just offending me and the
What if I told you Hollywood's darkest secrets are starting to spill? And Joe Rogan is the one holding the flashlight. Yeah, things are getting real. And it's all going down because of Diddy's parties.
You could also be like admitting the ridiculously of it yourself while saying, I read. You know, because it's kind of an admission. Like, I'm not there. I didn't go to the...
I want to hear somebody goes, I went to one of these parties and man, P. Diddy was like, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go Meek Mill. And but like, that's never going to happen. No one comes out and says
so
that.
if you're looking at that, what makes you conclude that he definitely was doing that?
Because he basically, the first time they ever met, he presented him with the Steele dossier, which had all of the like dirt.
That's the pee-pee stuff, right?
Yeah, all the pee-pee in it. Or I shouldn't say there was no alleged, just piss.
Russian piss.
Yes, alleged Russian piss. Yes, that's the aspect Jay wants to make sure.
Is that what collusion means?
Something like that. And then
he plays so dirty. They play dirty like a movie.
Joe Rogan has recently dropped some shocking insights that are sparking fresh concerns about the hidden side of Hollywood's elite. According to Rogan, there's more going on than just a wild night out. It's what happens behind closed doors that's raising serious questions. So, what exactly are these disturbing rules that guests allegedly have to follow just to get inside? Well, you might want to sit down for this one, because these party rules sound more like something out of a nightmare.
Do you think we're going to get the names from the Diddy parties, or is that going to go away?
I think that one's going to come out.
Are people being paid off right now?
No, I think Diddy is probably a spiteful man, and he probably is going to be in jail for the rest of his life, right. And they're probably going to sing a song.
No, I'm saying, how many people are getting paid right now to shut up? Like, how many cases are falling apart? Because I'll tell you this.
I don't know if that's really going on. This is the thing. We don't know who's involved in this whole Diddy thing. Is this an intelligence agency thing where they were trying to compromise people that were famous and get them to endorse certain political candidates? Is it that?
Or he's really close with Obama.
Or is it really just Diddy masterminded the whole thing like a fuck gangster?
Hey, bro.
With no devices allowed, there was a complete blackout on photos, videos, or outside contact, turning the entire place into a bubble where anything could happen. And no one outside would ever know. This secrecy set the tone, creating an environment where guests felt isolated, with no chance of leaks or evidence making it to the outside world. But an even more surprising factor was the alleged presence of children at these events. According to Joe Rogan and other sources, specific rules were in place for the kids, curfews were set, and certain areas were off limits to them once the party heated up. It's one thing to have kids at family gatherings, but these were far from your standard Hollywood get-togethers. Rogan hinted at the chilling reality of children being in attendance, but separated as the adult activities grew more intense. This isolation, mixed with the absence of any devices to document what was happening, adds a different layer to the claims. It left many wondering what kind of environment these children were truly being exposed to, and whether those in charge actually had their best interests at heart. Well, the details don't end there. Sources suggest that as the night went on, children were quietly moved to different areas away from the adults, sparking even more questions about what was really going on.
Excuse me, I need the phones, guys. I need the phones. I need the phones. I need the phones. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Quincy, I know you have 2 phones, Quincy. Oh, there you go. That's what I love. Yeah. Just Flow. So proud of you, Just Flow. Look at that. Got all the phones. Do I have everybody's phone?
So we got 2 cars. We got this car and the car over there. How would you like to?
I mean, yeah, we can go get him when we finish. Yeah, I can. Coming to the after party, you know?
Yeah. Good. You're doing so good.
I just want to say,
This is the most disturbing Diddy clip that I've seen so far, and it really honestly makes you realize that everyone who went to these parties isn't so innocent.
Okay, we gonna have DJ Cassidy right now get on 1s and 2s. We fed y'all, we gave y'all some drinks, now it's time to enjoy life. This is a celebration of life. This is a legendary white party. It's the real white party. Make some noise if you've been here before. Okay. And to all the kids have like an hour left. So get extra comfortable, kids, because after that, y'all gotta go. It's a wrap for y'all, because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to. Okay? So, let's just start to get our groove on a little bit. In an hour, we put the kids away. It's all good. Hey, DJ.
The strict enforcement of rules at these events isn't something you'd expect to hear about a typical party, and the image it creates is far from glamorous. Rogan and other sources painted a picture that's as dark as it is disturbing. Now, if you thought this couldn't get more twisted, just wait until you hear which celebrities were reportedly in on this. Let's talk about the guest list, because it's stacked with some of Hollywood's biggest names. Stars like Leonardo DiCaprio, Mariah Carey, and even Kim Kardashian were reportedly present at Diddy's parties. There's been a growing curiosity about what these famous faces might have witnessed, and whether they ever questioned or tried to stop what was happening. Witnesses claim that at these parties, celebrities weren't just passive guests. They saw things that would shock anyone. The craziest part, these A-listers didn't step in, even as things allegedly crossed the line. Joe Rogan, who's seen more than his fair share of celebrity behavior, voiced his disbelief over how these major stars could sit back and let it happen. According to Rogan, these insiders were so caught up in the scene that they turned a blind eye, allowing the alleged strange and questionable activities to continue.
I said a possibility that he is the gangster and he ran this whole blackmail operation himself.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Listen,
That
the
I
guy
think
was
for sure.
involved in music, right?
Yes.
And you get compromising information on these guys and get them to
100%.
sign very unfavorable
Yes.
contracts.
Yes.
Like, what better way
That's
to get a
what I
guy
think.
to sign an unfavorable contract where you're going to get billions, because he was a billionaire,
Yes.
right? You that guy
Yes.
and film it.
Yes.
And you get video of your boys that
Yes.
guy and filming it.
Or
You
you
let
get a
him know
fucking
you
younger
always have
and then
that.
underage girl
Well,
or
you put
something.
these guys on GHB or
Yep.
whatever the they're putting them on. They're out of their
blow their
minds.
assholes
They
out.
don't know what's going
This reaction from Joe Rogan added more fuel to the fire. He expressed his disbelief, shocked that no one from Hollywood ever stepped up and said, enough. But it's not just the guest list that's shocking. Let's talk about the people who actually witnessed these events. One of the most disturbing revelations about Diddy's parties comes from a former guest named Tanya, who has come forward with chilling accounts of what she saw.
So we get there, and that's when stuff got weird. And that's why they lock up our phones, because they know what we see in there, it's he can get in trouble, like right now. So basically, we arrived, security guard patted us down. They put our phone in this little bubble case. So the bubble case is closed. They can't get unlocked until we walk out. So I'm walking around or whatever. So one of his sons, I'm not going to tell you which one, but it was like recruiting like whoever they wanted to go inside the house, because the is inside the house and in the backyard.
Tanya's testimony paints a picture that goes well beyond wild Hollywood parties, diving into a much darker side of these exclusive events. According to her, there were strict rules in place from the moment you stepped in. Beyond the usual no devices policy, Tanya described how guests were directed to specific areas based on their level of access. Some people had permission to roam freely, while others were kept out of certain rooms where the real action went down. One of the most important details she shared was about the so-called rooms. These areas were hidden, accessible only to select individuals, and featured adult activities that were uncontrollable. According to Tanya, the environment in these rooms was far from what most people would expect at a party. She described scenes that were not only bizarre, but extremely disturbing, leaving guests feeling uncomfortable and confused. But the most horrifying part involved young folks dressed in costumes that were more fitting for an adult-themed party. Then there's the disturbing Harajuku doll allegation. Some witnesses claimed that at these parties, there were individuals dressed to resemble Harajuku dolls, a style heavily associated with youth and innocence in Japanese culture. To see these figures present at an adult-themed party raised a lot of eyebrows and set off even more alarm bells. Many people are now questioning the presence of these dolls and the role they played in these gatherings.
I don't judge people because at the time I was just smoking. But you know when people are out of their mind, and you know when people, you know what you don't want to be a part of, and it's just like I'm seeing stuff that you see on the movies. This corner, this got going on. This corner, they over here doing this. This corner, they over there having. This corner, I'm just gonna say, because I don't know what I can say, because I'm not trying to be incriminating myself, but they were dressed up like little Harajuku Barbies.
Like what?
Little people, okay? We're not gonna say what type of little people, but like a fetish. And I'm looking like, what are they doing here? Like dressed up, little red lipstick, like they weren't supposed to be there.
These stories have pushed public discomfort to new heights, suggesting a level of recklessness that most people would never associate with high-profile figures. These accounts are disturbing enough on their own, but the legal cases now building up could lead to much bigger consequences. The floodgates seem to have opened, and Diddy is now facing more than a few lawsuits. The list of allegations is extensive, involving an alleged 120 victims over the years, some of whom were innocent minors. In recent weeks, more lawsuits have emerged, each one revealing additional details that paint a troubling picture. New accusers have stepped forward, filing claims that depict a pattern of wrongful behavior spanning years. Some of these claims are allegedly linked to incidents that occurred in the same infamous rooms, adding credibility to testimonies from people like Tanya. For the victims, this moment represents a chance to finally confront what happened and possibly achieve justice after years of silence.
I believe there's more to the universe and more to life than we can think of through our narrow field of perception. That's what I think. I think there's more to human contact and interaction than just people talking to each other. I think there's a thinly veiled reality that we live in where we express our souls to each other. That's what I think. And I think it's a very complicated and confusing thing that's up by lies and deception and violence and war.
Well, so many of them,
it's enhanced by friendship and love and communication, and it's weird. There's a thing going on that's beyond just like you're born and you die. And if that thing keeps going when the physical body stops existing, I wouldn't be surprised.
Joe Rogan hasn't held back his opinions on this situation, questioning whether true justice will be served in such a high-profile case. Given his massive platform, Rogan's perspective has resonated with audiences who share similar doubts. He has raised concerns about the power dynamics at play, wondering if Diddy and others in his circle might use their influence to dodge accountability. For Rogan, this isn't just about one man, it's about Hollywood as a whole. He has claimed that the outcome of this case could encourage others in the industry to step forward about similar behavior. And if that wasn't enough, the fans' reactions have been nothing short of explosive. Social media has been flooded with posts condemning what they're hearing and questioning how such behavior went unchecked for so long. People are openly criticizing not just Diddy, but also the Hollywood celebrities who allegedly allowed this to happen, suggesting that this scandal is only scratching the surface of a much larger conspiracy. These revelations are bringing back memories of past scandals, raising the question of whether Hollywood has learned anything from previous mistakes, or if these patterns just keep repeating. Rogan's words have added fuel to the fire, with his listeners questioning whether other high-profile names might also be connected to these events. He has suggested that if one case this disturbing comes to light, there's a strong possibility that more people in Hollywood could be implicated. This theory has sparked a wave of speculation about who else might have been involved or witnessed these parties. Hollywood's power structure is under scrutiny, with fans demanding transparency and accountability from celebrities who've been in the spotlight for years. One person commented, "J-Lo and Beyonce should never be idolized. They are not innocent in this, and it sickens me to see them celebrated in any way, shape, or form after learning this." Another wrote, "Let us learn to never place any man upon a pedestal again. The ones we idolize always disappoint. Who we have are, all's thus making us ourselves complicit. Only Christ is good." Closing out his thoughts, Joe Rogan didn't mince words. He believes that Hollywood has a long way to go in holding its own accountable and warned that if this case doesn't end in justice, it could erode public trust in the industry further. Joe Rogan has voiced his hopes that Diddy's present situation could be a major turning point for the entire industry. And as we wrap up this whole situation, let's take a moment to step back and really consider what these allegations mean for Hollywood. The accusations surrounding Diddy's parties, the hidden rooms, the strict rules for attendees, the talks around underage guests are disturbing on so many levels. If these testimonies are true, they reveal a world of secrets, lies, and cover-ups that goes well beyond what we thought we knew about celebrity culture. And with more victims speaking out and more lawsuits emerging, it's clear the story is far from over. So what do you guys think? Do you believe these allegations? And just how deep do you think Hollywood's cover-ups really go? Is this case just the tip of an iceberg we've barely started to see? Drop your thoughts below, because this conversation needs to be heard, and you'll definitely want to stick around for what's next. We'll keep covering every new update in Diddy's case and bring you the latest on other Hollywood scandals that are just as jaw-dropping. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming up next.